welcome to my channel. I'm Dela OJ, and today I want to show you how I manage my finances using a budget template. Now, listen, if you haven't been budgeting for your finances, take it from me, you need to start because budgeting takes your financial game to a whole different level. And I tell you this from experience. It's amazing to budget to see how you're making money and where your money goes. And I would like to show you how I do that every month. So let us go. This is a budget template that I use to budget for my finances. The numbers in here are hypothetical and not real. And I'd like to show you how I do that. Right here, there's a section for the income that I make. Employment income, business income, investment income, and any other income that you have, you can put it right here. And right here, we have the expense section. I have listed every expense possible, like every expense you can think of should be here. But if there is an expense that is not listed in here, you can add in a row and include that expense in this template. It's very easy, and you just right click and you insert the row above or below. This is a Google Sheet. Sorry, I didn't mention that earlier. This is a Google Sheet, and as long as you have access to Google, you can access this sheet. I will link the I'll put a link to the budget template in the description below. So please grab one and start budgeting. So let's continue. So right here we have housing expenses, and this includes every expense that you can expect to incur as a result of accommodation. So have your rent, property taxes if you own a house, utilities, phone bills, internet, just anything that has to do with you living in a house. And then right here we have living expenses, any money that you spend for living, for breathing, basically, for your groceries, your clothing, any other expense that you spend, you can put it in here under living expenses. And then there's transportation. There's a section for transportation. You can put in your transportation expenses right there. There's entertainment expenses, medical, insurance, children expenses, and then there's a section for debt repayment. So if you have debt, student loans, car loan, a mortgage, whatever, business loan, whatever loan that you have, there's a section here for you to put in how much you intend to pay every month. And if you have pets, if you're a dog mom, you can put in your expenses here for feeding your dog or your cat or whatever expense you incur for your pets. You can list that in here. And then there's a section for donation and charity. There's also a section for any other expense that you can think of, or any other expense that you have. Basically, you could just put it under here. And then there is the investment section. This section has categories for retirement savings or investment, education, a vacation fund. So if you're planning a trip, if you want to travel somewhere sometime in the middle of the year, you can start budgeting and saving for your travels right here. Then there's the seasonal celebration. So we just got out of Christmas holiday. But if you're saving for Valentine or Easter, for example, you can start saving using this section. So you would input any amount of your income that you intend to just put aside for an event or for a celebration right here. And then right here, you have your general savings and investment. So if you want to invest in index funds or stock or whatever, bonds, any investments you can think of, you can include that in here. So whatever section or whatever part of your income you want to allocate to that, you put that right in here. And then there's a section for any other savings that you have for the month or the year. You can put that right here. At the end of the sheet, there is a section that shows you how much in total you have made for the month, how much you have spent, how much you have saved, and how much you intend to invest. So there's a section for your budget. So this is how much you intend or you estimate to make and spend for the month. And then there's the actual. So for the budget piece, you would do this at the beginning of every month. I'm putting the estimate right here. And then there is a section for the actual. And this is what we do, or what I do at the end of every month. I go through my financial statements, my bank statements. I open them up, my bank statements on my laptop. I download them and I just go through every item and I input them in here. So whatever I have spent for housing, whatever I have spent for transportation, entertainment, everything goes right in here. And this is a zero budget template. So what that means is every income that you make gets allocated to a category of expense, savings, or investment. So at the end of the day, this should net out to zero. So if you've made $3,800, you would have spent $3,500, saved $100, and invested $200. So and this is very good for budgeting. So you don't have any income lying around that doesn't have any purpose or use. If you make $3,700, you know where you want that money to go. You don't have any spare money lying around without any purpose. And that is how budgeting works. And that is very important, just so you don't think that you have money to use for something that you haven't planned for. There's always something that has been planned for every income that you make. And that is very, very key when it comes to money management. So this template has different months in a year from January up until December. So you could just use one budget, one sheet to put in all your numbers for the year. And this is very, very helpful because you can see as you're going through the months, you can just see how much you're budgeting, how much you're spending every month, and then it totals up at the end of the year. This second sheet shows you basically how much of your income goes to your expense categories. So right here, you can see how much you spent for housing, living expenses, for all your expenses in a month for the year. And when you scroll down, you can see it in a percentage basis. So right here, you can see that housing took 33.68% of total income, and that's the highest. And the next highest is debt. And then right here, you have the budget, the summary budget. So what this tells you, so you look at this at the beginning of every month, you look at this where my money went at the end of every month to see how you have done with your finances. This, my expense and savings budget, shows you the summary of your budget. So you will look at this at the beginning of every month when you are creating the budget for your income to see where you want your money to go, basically. And then this sheet right here is one of my favorites because this tells you how to plan or how to put money aside for your financial goals, basically. So, for example, if you want to save $20,000 in 2022, you will put in that number in there and it tells you how much you need to save every month to meet your goal. Right here, you would need to save approximately $1,700 every month to get to $20,000 at the end of the year. If you have bigger goals and you want to save $50,000 at the end of the year, you have to save or put aside $4,000, at least $4,000 every month to meet your target. And if you have smaller goals, which is fine, say $2,000 at the end of the year, you can save at least or approximately $167,000 every month to meet your goal. And this is very important because it tells you how feasible or how realistic your financial goal is. So if you put in $50,000 and you see that you have to save $4,000 every month, how doable this is based on your income. I really love this sheet. So it just helps you plan financially, basically. And you can also use this for debt repayments. So if you want to pay down $50,000 at the end of the year, this also tells you how much you need to pay every month to meet your goal. So this is very important for your financial goals. And then the last or the second to the last sheet that we're going to look at is your net worth calculator. I personally think that everyone should know what you're worth for the fun of it, or just know your net worth. How much do you have in assets? How much do you have in liabilities? And what is the net amount? Right here, you would input at the end of every month. So I track this every month, and it's so amazing to see how my net worth changes. And you can too. So just come right here and put in how much you have in your investments. If you have a house, you put in that amount here. And if you have any other real estate property, you put in the amount here. If you have investments or savings, you can put in the numbers in here, and then you would see your total assets right here. And then you come down here, you see your total liabilities, how much you owe in credit card debt, in lines of credit, or student loans, or whatever your mortgage, whatever debt you have, you would see that here. And then you have your total liabilities. And then right here, you see your total net worth. So your total net worth is your total assets less your total liabilities, and then you can see how much you actually worth. Right here is a graphical representation of how your net worth is changing over the month, over the months in a year, basically. And I think the goal is to just see that go up every month. Yeah. And then the final sheet here is your dashboard. This is an amazing dashboard. It shows you how you're doing with your finances, basically like an overall view of your finances. And the amazing thing about this is you can flip this for every month. So if right now I have it set at January, and I can see that my total income for the month in January based on the template was 3,800, total expenses 3,500. And then when you come here to the right, you can see that expenses took up 92% of total income. That's not good. That's not ideal. I mean, it happens, but it's not ideal. And then right here, you can see total savings of $100 is only 2.6% of total income. Same for investments. You can see how much your investments were for the month and the percentage of your total income. So right here, when you come in here, you can see basically how you're saving or how you're spending your money on a monthly basis. And like I said, you can flip this for the different months. So when you flip it to February, it changes. You flip it back to January, it changes. And then at the end of the month or at any time in the year, you can go to your total year and see how much it is for the year to date. Right here, you can see your income, your expense, your savings, your investments, on an actual versus budget basis. So you can see how much your budget was and how much you actually made for the year or spent, saved, or invested, as the case may be. And then you can also see a snapshot of your net income. Like I said, this should be zero every month because you have allocated your income to something, an expense, a savings, or investment. There should be no money lying around without a purpose. And then you can also see what your net worth is at the end of every month or at the end of the year or any time in the year, basically. And when you scroll down here, you can see your expense by categories and by the month. So again, you can change it to January and that will change, and you see how you do with your expenses. And when you scroll down here, you can see your savings and investments dashboard. You can also flip this for every month or any month that you want to check and see how you're doing with your savings and investment, or you can see what the total year is as well. I think the final part of this template is just a graphical representation of how you are spending compared to your budget. So you can see your total expenses right here by your budget and by your actual. So you can see where you went overboard or where you were able to save money um, right here. And that is the end of this presentation for this template. And like I said, this template has been very, very effective for me managing my finances. I use this every month and I'm able to manage my money better. I'm able to save. I'm able to make more money. I'm able to invest. And it's just been a game changer. And so I will leave a link to the budget template down in the description box below. Please get one and start budgeting for your finances in 2022. The year is still very fresh, it's still very new, so it's not too late for you to start. I would advise that you start budgeting, you start planning for your finances, you start managing your money and just accounting for where your money is going. That will really help you to achieve your financial goals and just be better with money in general. And so that's it for me. I hope that this video was very helpful for you and that you've been able to learn a thing or two and that you're encouraged as well to start budgeting. Like I mentioned, I'll leave the link to the budget template in the description box below. You can check it on the website, you can purchase it and just start budgeting, and you can just get better with your finances. I mean, everyone can budget. Some people think budgeting is a very daunting task. It's not, I promise you. You just need to get into the rhythm, and once you get into the rhythm, you love it. You always look forward to just seeing how you're doing with your money, where your money is going, and how you're making money. And yeah, just let me know if you get a template, and let me know. I like to hear from you how you're budgeting, how you're using the template, and how it's helping you with your finances basically. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to doing another video on money management, saving, investment, budgeting. Please leave a thumbs up, please subscribe, please share, and I'll see you later. Bye.